Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. It is episode 19 of Guess the Trade today, but first let's jump back and talk about episode 18. We looked at two different loadouts. The first one that we looked at was Summit Perry. He had a TP3, also a TPLC, and a Vito Tech Pack. We saw the inside of his van a little bit and some of his tools, as you can see there. What was it that he did with his tools? Now, many of us were guessing HVAC based upon his tools. He said he is actually an electrician, but he works within the school system. But then he also said he worked on boilers, chillers, heat pumps, etc. So a lot of the things he did, even though his technical name might be an electrician, he does a lot of HVAC work. So that explains the tools that he had, anyways. So that's what he did with his tools. The second person that we looked at was Colin Brown. He had that Milwaukee structured tote bag along with his little pack out container that was underneath that. But we looked primarily at the tools that were inside that bag, as you can see there. What was it that he did with his tools? He said that he is actually an elevator tech apprentice and that he had just started collecting like his own tools and putting together his own tools. And he said he's never going to stop. And I absolutely know that's 100% right. Once you start buying tools, start beginning to use them, you just keep wanting more and more. That's the way that it goes. But that's what he did with his tools. So that's the two loadouts that we looked at in episode 18, what they did with theirs. I appreciate them sharing those. I'm only going to look at one loadout today, and there's a couple reasons behind that. And the one loadout we're going to look at today is James McCall. One thing is that the weather has been bad this week for me as far as raining like crazy. And again, I can't film much in the rain. It's supposed to rain here in just a little bit. So I'm going to try to fit in this one so that I've got something to put out on Saturday for you guys that love watching this series. And so I'm only going to do one, but he's also got 24 pictures, so it's a pretty big one. That's another reason why I'm not adding another one to it, because I think I'm going to end up getting rained on before I get through it. But let's look at James McCall's picture. He's got 3 different bags, 24 pictures we're going to look at. He's got a Vito Tech MCT, a Tech MB, and then also a TPLC that we're going to look at. But let's go ahead and jump into his tools and see if we can guess what he does. We'll start with the first picture, and again, I try to leave these in the order in which people send them to me, unless for some reason they're all just named the same and it doesn't matter. But here is his Tech MCT. He's also got, it looks like the orange or the high-vis orange. I haven't even seen any of these in person. I've only seen videos of them. I've seen them on the Vito website, but I haven't seen any of the high-vis stuff. We look over here on this side, you can see he's got a few pencils, marking utensils, along with an awl. I would assume that's what that is right there. We go to the next side over here, torpedo level. Also 3 different colors of tape, black, red, and white. And then he's got, again, more markers, a few spade bits. So that's what he has on this side of his Tech MCT. Here's the front side of that bag, or the back side. This depends on what you want to call it, I guess. Nothing in there unless he's got something in the pockets. Does keep a carabiner up here on that D-ring. Here's the inside, or I'm assuming this is this side, opened up. You can see that here, and he's going to show us all these tools in a little bit, all out of the bag. So we'll take a look at those whenever we get to it. But so you can see his loadout here. Looks like he's got some Weehaw screwdrivers, Klein. I think those are Weehaw non-insulated and also Weehaw insulated. And then Klein mostly for the most part. And I think all those blue handles, those look more like channel locks to me, but they could be something else. And then he's got some Klein stuff over here too. So that's that bag, or that side of the bag. Here it is empty, so he's showing us. I've heard of this trick from several people, and it's really probably a pretty good idea, especially if you carry a lot of screwdrivers. He's got a lot of screwdrivers in his, and he's basically cut little pieces of PVC, stuck them down inside of his pouches there. That way it kind of makes them stand up and stay. Once you take out like 2 or 3 screwdrivers out of there, the rest of them are going to fall over if you don't have something like that. So I think that's a pretty good idea. It's really good for like totes and things as well. So no matter what bag you have, if you carry a lot of smaller tools but you got bigger pockets and you want to kind of make them to where whenever I pull out one, the other 4 don't just fall all over the place, whatever it is, that's a pretty good idea. So let me know in the comments if you guys do anything like that, or if you've got another suggestion of, little tricks of things to hold things in your bags. That's always interesting information to put down below, so put that down below. We continue on with his pictures. Here's the other side of his bag. He's got that Uridine. I think that's how you say it. I can't remember. I have to see it to be able to say it, but it's that little ProFlex kneeling pad. That comes in handy. And again, there's that high-vis Tech MCT, the orange that's on it. That's pretty neat looking. We go to the inside of this. Looks like he's got the M12 drill driver. Also what I call a bricklayer's rule, but it's kind of like a folding ruler. Looks like probably a Klein screwdriver there, some different things. The little cut-in box, low voltage type box template right there. I've got a brand of that. I don't remember which one I've got, but you can kind of see how he's got all that tucked into the back side of that bag. We go into the next picture. This is without that drill driver blocking the view. You've got some hex keys back there in the back, some more pliers, also some Knipex, it looks like, possibly some zip ties, all that stuffed in there. Again, these bags right here hold quite a bit. They're pretty awesome. As far as, to me, the MCT bag, in my opinion, for what I do, if you're a maintenance person and you need a lot of different tools and you don't have like a specific job you do every single day, or you're a handyman or whatever you might be, and you like the closed up aspect of a bag so that it looks clean whenever you're not using it, it's really hard to beat that, Tech MCT Blackout, in my opinion. But I've not tried every Vito bag, obviously, but I've tried a lot of them, and that's kind of been probably my favorite bag so far out of all of them. As far as if I could only have one bag, and that's the one that I could buy, that would probably be the one that I would go with. Continuing on in his pictures, here they all are laid out for us. Here's all the tools that's within that entire bag. So again, look at how many tools will fit inside of that, and it's not really that big of a bag as far as to carry it. Going to get a little blurry when we zoom in, but I think actually, let me check. Yeah, so he's got these put into quadrants. So just look at this picture as a whole, as this is everything that's within that bag. We're going to go to the next picture where he kind of lets it to where we can zoom in a little bit better, maybe not get so blurry. I'm interested in all these blue handles. I'm assuming, based on the color, that they're all channel lock, but I don't know. I can't read anything on them, but that's what I would guess. So let us know that in the comments below if you know, or James, let us know that as well. Looks like he's got a couple different crimpers with some cutters on the end. This one up here looks like it's got some like angled heads on them. Looks like he's got a pair of what I call like flat or duck bill pliers as well. Some small flush cutters, and then he's got some needle nose. Here's some more flush cutters, or diagonals, however you want to call them. I call them whenever they get smaller. For some reason, my brain goes to flush cutters. Also has a pair of end cutting pliers, or nips, or whatever you want to call those. I call them kind of end cutting pliers, mainly because that's what Knipex calls them, so that's what I call them. Also has, looks like that might be a pair of Knipex, or no, those are actually Weehaw. I can see the Weehaw kind of right there in that little logo right there. Needle nose. Then those look like Klein tongue and groove type pliers, water pump pliers. Again, whatever you want to call them, the alligator style. They don't have the push button. Milwaukee vice grip type pliers. He's got some Klein adjustable wrenches up there on the top. I think that's I can't remember the brand name on that. It's Wise or something like that, or Wiss maybe is what those are. The looks like scissors. Also has some more of the vice grip type with the needle nose type end. Down here at the bottom, I think that those are for sure channel lock because it's got that newer look to them. They just recently released a lot of pliers that look like those. He's got the Micro 5 or a pipe vise right there, or that's what that looks like. I've got that. I haven't ended up using that as much as I thought that I would. It's a handy tool, but it's expensive. You can really only get it through them, so you got to pay shipping sometimes. And then it's not something I found myself using a lot, but I also don't really deal with pipe as much as what a lot of people do. So I more so run into hex fittings and things like that. So a Knipex pliers wrench or a pair of Cobras or something like that just tends to work better for me than that. Not that it's not a good tool, but for the price, I just haven't found myself using it as much as I thought that I would. But you get back in here again, he's got some more of the tongue and groove pliers. They look like Klein, Weehaw, and channel lock. So you've got a multitude of brands, James. I'm interested. Just give us your feedback, just to give us an idea. What's your favorite pair of all those so far? Again, it doesn't look like you got Cobras, at least not in this one. But out of Weehaw, Klein, and channel lock, which ones do you tend to grab the most out of using all those different tongue and groove pliers. So he's got some Klein strippers. He's got lots of different strippers in here. So he's got a lot of the same tools over and over. So I'm interested to know maybe why that is. Maybe he has to hand out tools on job sites to his helpers or something like that. But he's got a lot of tools that seem the same to put them all in the same bag. So here's his screwdriver collection. He's got a Milwaukee demo slotted, also Weehaw insulated, Weehaw regular. I'm not sure what this one here in the middle is. I've not seen that, whatever that is. And then he's got several Kleins. He's got this one here is that screw holding screwdriver. Looks like he's probably got I don't remember what the N1 of that one is. Maybe that's a 13-in-1 or that might be a 20-something-in-1. I can't remember what number this one here is. Looks like he's also got the tapping screwdriver and then some hollow nut drivers. And then he's got the ideal screwdriver over here that a lot of people use for putting receptacle plates and stuff like that in. So he's got those screwdrivers. That's his screwdrivers out of this bag. Next picture, M12 driver. He's also got his zip ties inside some PVC holders as well. Again, the folding ruler, some jumpers over here, conduit, wrenches as far as the lock nut wrenches, different pencils. So here's all his marking utensils. He's got a Pica black. He's got some drill bits, ink saws. He's also got several hex wrenches, railer bit rail, non-contact voltage tester, folding jab saw it looks like. And again, there's that box, and this little thing right here is a handy tool if you do cut in boxes very often. I mean, it's worth having that because you can just basically set that on your wall, line up them two levels, trace it. You don't have to try to hold that box against the wall and draw around it and all those things. And it usually, what I do is I take my box before I figure out how I want to use that template, stick it to the template, because some boxes have a little bit of variation to give you an idea if I need to go on the outside of my line, inside of my line. But I would highly recommend one of those. If you do very many cut-in boxes, it's worth buying one of those. So you might want to check one of those out. And then the last thing he's got is a little trim square, it looks like right there. So that's the last tool of that. So that's all of his Tech MCT bag. Now that we go to the next picture, this is his TPLC, and then also on the side of it, he's got the MB. I think it's a Tech MB if I remember right, but he's got the orange color on all of his bags. That's probably pretty nice in all honesty, because it allows him, because again, I don't see these ever around me. So you go in somewhere, it's no doubt the orange bags are mine. So it's probably not a bad idea, but I would think that you would also maybe see dirt and things like that on it more often, or you get markers or whatever and it touches it, it's going to end up causing something that might be permanent. So that's probably something I wouldn't be able to live with, but I get the idea behind it. I can see it as being pretty useful. So going into the next picture, here's the side view of his TPLC. He's got another M12 driver. Looks like he's got the Klein flip socket, also a railer bit rail, some more electrical tape back there. This side, he's got his MB clipped onto the side of that of his TPLC on that side. Here's the downward view of his TPLC. So again, checking that out, you can see the tools that he has in there. He's going to pull these out for us in just a minute. And I would venture to say he probably uses this bag more than the other. So all the tools that we saw in the other one is probably going to be his not used as much. These are probably the ones he finds himself using more often. So here's all the tools that you're seeing right there, right here in a picture. We've got some Klein needle nose, also some Knipex. It looks like combination pliers. They could be Weehaw, but they actually look like Knipex to me, but I could be wrong with that. It probably is Weehaw because I don't see any Knipex tools. Well, he's got maybe one over here, but I don't see any other ones, so it's probably Weehaw. He's also got a Klein cable cutter. Again, I'm guessing channel lock on the small pair of diagonals there. He's got the Klein crimper up here. Again, I can't say enough about that. That's pretty much the only way I crimp stuff anymore. He's got a Weehaw. It looks like a precision driver, but look at the shaft on that thing. I have not seen one that has that long of a shaft. That's pretty interesting. So I don't know what model number that is. I'm going to see if I can find that. That's pretty interesting. Then he's got a Weehaw pair of strippers, I think. Again, these are a little blurry. I can't see them, but you guys may know. I'm just guessing whenever I'm saying some of these because I don't really know. I'm just guessing based on the rest of his tools. Several Weehaw drivers there, Klein demo drivers. I'm not sure what brand these hollow nut drivers are. I'm not sure if those are like an older Klein set or if that's another set altogether. It's got kind of that acetate handle, which every time I see those handles, it just reminds me of growing up because that was pretty much the screwdriver handle that was all there was for a long time, and every screwdriver you grabbed had that kind of handle. So it was pretty much that kind of handle or a Klein screwdriver handle were the only two handles screwdrivers that even existed as I was, younger and starting to begin doing this work. And of course, now we got so many different options of, insulated and ball handles, wood handles, acetate handles, you name it. There's all kinds of grips out there. So, man, we are living in a world where it's just options galore. And it's just, we got so many things. We should be pretty thankful for all the tool selection that we have compared to what people in the past have had. But continuing in, again, he's got the Weehaw Pico finish. Again, those are probably my favorite precision drivers that I have. But I don't like carrying multiple ones in my service bag, so I try to keep like a Klein that's all in one type thing. Again, the Milwaukee or the Klein flip socket right there. We're going down here. There's the smaller screw holding screwdriver from Klein. He's got a small adjustable wrench. He's got the Impact 11-in-1 ratcheting screwdriver, and then over here he's got that small little Klein. That's a really good tool to have too. Little Klein 1/4-inch ratcheting, but I really like being able to use that with my finger. It just works out well. I like using that a lot of times more than a ratchet. And then I think that those are Knipex, but he doesn't have any other Knipex tools, but that looks like a Knipex pliers wrench to me, but again, I could be wrong. So that's his TPLC tools. Here's the back side of his TPLC. He keeps zip ties, parts box, looks like a 1/2-inch wrench, maybe some other ones down in there. So his back of his TPLC is a lot like how I carry the back of my TPLC. Here's everything that's in there, so maybe we can see now. These are pretty important usually in the guessing. So he's got some wire nuts. Looks like probably some just screws. Also some crimp connectors. Looks like possibly some Wagos. Conduit lock nut wrenches again. And then he's got 3 different wrenches. I'd say the bigger one is a 1/2-inch. He's probably got 7/16 and then maybe something else, which those might be different sizes on each side. I can't tell. But 3 different wrenches there that he keeps in the back. And then he's got his pouch up here. That's on that front cover. What's he got in that? He's got some jumpers. And then also some crimp connectors right there as well. And then that's all of his TPLC. So then we get into his meter bag. Here's his Tech MB. And again, it's still got that orange color to it. He's got that open to let you look down in there. He's got some meters. Here he's got some different tools as far as looks like for phone. We'll again see what he's got here. Or some kind of a sound probe. But let's see, I can't tell what the name of that one is. It's a Green Lee, and I'm not real familiar with a lot of their tools, so I don't know. So inside of his meter bag, he's got a Fluke 117. I know what that one is. I'm not sure about this one. That might be that little pocket Fluke, and I can't remember what the number is on that. Is that like 100 or something like that, if I remember right? But he's got 2 different Flukes. He's got the test leads back there that I like. He's also got the like toner right here. So I guess he's using this as the other half. He's using the Greenlee toner receiver with the transmitter from Fluke. I've got this Fluke transmitter right here, but I've got the Fluke other end of it. So that's what that right there is the other half, I guess, that he's using. And then he's got some of the plunger style like clips for your test leads. And then I think that's his last picture. It is. So that's his meter bag. You can see the meters that he keeps, 117. And again, I think that this is 100 if I remember right. He also uses a toner as far as to trace wires and things like that. You get over into his TPLC. Let me get to the main picture. So there's the ones that he probably carries, again, most of the time. If I had to guess, most people, if they use 2 bags, the smaller bag is the one they grab the most. And then if he's probably doing some sort of an install or something, let's go back to the Tech MCT, which is here. And then here's some screwdrivers he might use. And then here's all of his pliers selection right there. Again, several strippers. So I'm thinking he probably either just really likes to change it up every now and then, or he works with other people and he tries to, give them tools to use. Maybe he's a foreman on a job or something like that. So there's all the tools in that last bag, the Tech MCT. But again, take a look at those tools and then comment down below what it is you think James McCall does with these tools out of his 3 bags. Again, he's got that Tech MCT, he's got the TPLC, and then the Tech MB. I'm interested to know which one of those bags you use the most. I'm going to guess it's that TPLC and that MB bag, and then maybe that other bag, your Tech MCT, is for like an installation, like on a job site. And then I'm interested why you have so many, maybe a redundancy of a lot of tools, like the same exact ones. Are you like a foreman, and then you also hand out tools to, apprentices or whatever it might be? Interested in that. And then the few tool questions that I had was your water pump pliers. You've got a lot of different brands. I think you had Channel Lock, Weehaw, Klein. Out of those, which ones is the ones that you prefer the most? Which ones do you tend to grab the most? Because again, I'm only been buying Knipex here lately, but I'm interested in your feedback on that. And then again, guess down below what it is you think that he does with these tools. I'm not going to guess because I know you probably got a pretty good idea that it's something in wiring, but let's see if we can get more specific. Is it commercial, residential, high voltage, low voltage, certain specific, whether you want to go with security or, whatever it is that you want to do, cable connections, phones, whatever it is that you want to do. See if you can guess specifically what you think James McCall does with his tools, and then let's just see if we can have some fun with the answers down below. But I hope this video was useful and helpful. You guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. See you on the next video.